Art Ekman, David Bailey, Skip Norfolk, and Marty Reed from Texas Stadium. Jeff Emig led this group of 4 over the finish line, qualifying for tonight's main event. Marty's with him now. Marty?
Yeah, he managed to stay on his feet on the bike, but he almost slipped and fell on his way to victory lane. How treacherous is it out there? It looked like you were like back when training wheels were invented and your feet were down touching every now and then.
Exactly. There's a big groove going right down through the middle of the whoops, and I was trying not to stand up, you know, and get the feel of standing up, because that's definitely the best way to ride the mud, you know, for everybody that wants to learn. You need to stand up, you know, and balance the bike. But I don't think any of us professionals are showing very good technique out there tonight.
Is this really going to come down to a matter of survival?
Yeah, I think so. Of course, the start's going to be important, you know, so you get out front, get a good position. But, I mean, it's actually kind of tacky in spots. Like at one time when I was passing for the lead and I overjumped the double part of the triple jump. I mean, I think that I can jump the triple in the main event. But the bike is getting extremely heavy, and the worst part about it is that all of the controls, you know, the brake and the shifter are getting really, really clogged with mud.
Well, guys, you heard it there. He says he may be jumping that triple come the main.
Going to the semis, Lawrence, Bradshaw, and Button. 8 riders have already qualified for tonight's main event. The semis coming up next. AMA Supercross is being brought to you by Dunlop. Simply the best for your bike. When turning to Marty Reed for tonight's Dunlop Track Fact, I'll bet the #1 question on everyone's mind is MUD, Marty.
I'll tell you what, there's a couple of things that riders can do, mechanics especially. For example, if we take a look at the bike, the air boxes, they'll be taped up. They don't want any water in there. As you look at the hand grip, everybody's gone to full waffle grip. Some of them they even put on hand protectors. And then a little trick, they use as much grease as they can, like Pam or silicone, and they'll spray the fender and every working part on the exterior to try and keep the mud from building up. But here's the problem. Take a look down here, and this is what we're finding out. It's getting extremely tacky, and you come in, and look at it. My boot is literally sticking. When I come up, you can see exactly what's still on.
Not the easiest of conditions as the 32nd board is up. Skip Norfolk. I know it means nothing but a lot of hard work for the mechanics.
Yeah, they've got their hands full tonight, just trying to keep the bike operating properly.
And as far as the rider's concerned, David, right now we're getting ready to go for the first semi-final qualifying match. Mike LaRocco, Michael Craig, Brian Swing, Damon Huffman, and crew.
Now look at that. Mike Craig goes wide.
Damon Huffman, bar to bar with Michael Craig. Guy Cooper went down on his Husqvarna. Out in front, it's Damon Huffman coming back for the first time since coming back off the injured list.
That was a drag race at the first corner, and Craig won the race at the first corner, but he went wide and he took out Guy Cooper on the Hustenberg, and then Damon Huffman slid right into the inside and picked up the lead and stayed clean in the process.
There you see number 17. They've got the white covers on the knuckles, Skip.
Yeah, again, they're just going to try to keep those controls as clean as possible from the roost and the guys. But right now, Damon doesn't have anybody roosting on him. He's in a pretty good spot.
He's got Mike Craig. Doesn't look like he's going to give up too quick.
It's Pocaroba in third, number 92. He's behind number 15, Michael Craig, in our picture.
Pocaroba riding one of the preliminary qualifiers. There's Brian Lunas, that's Huffman's mechanic. There's a few people wondering, I think, including myself, why Huffman would return to action at this race with these conditions with the 125 Nationals where they really want to keep him healthy. Chances of injury are going down, and tweaking an ankle or something in these conditions are pretty high, but I think there's speculation he may be trying to help out, if possible, Jeff Emig in the title.
Yeah, Marty Reed down trackside. The injury in practice just after winning Atlanta, that was all the way back in early March. He missed 7 races, Marty.
Yeah, and as we watch him go side by side through that section, I can tell you, I talked to Damon right before the race. I said, you know, this is a big risk. He says,
oh, Damon stalled, Marty. You couldn't see him from where you are.
No, I couldn't. And it's a shame because he said, look, I get paid to ride. And that's what Kawasaki wants me to do. And I talked to the team manager, and they agreed with what you said, David. Any bike out there with a Kawasaki on there can help Jeff Emig.
So Michael Craig now with a big lead. As we take a look at the battle in back of him. Damon Huffman in second place still. Pocaroba in third.
Plus the last Supercross that Damon Huffman rode, he won.
Brian Swink and then Mike LaRocco. It's our pleasure, too, to have in the booth with us now, just joining us, Doug Poland, a road race racing fame. And Doug, it's a little loud up here in our microphones, but I know it's been an up and down season for you, but congratulations. Great victory, Lamar.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good to get the first international victory for the new Suzuki GSXR. It really was.
Of course, you don't have to worry about mud like this.
No, it's definitely something I like to be standing here instead of be down there riding, that's for sure.
Me too.
Feel free to trip in anytime.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is Skip may have noticed as well in the second 250 heat in the first heat, if you looked at the rear rim on Jeff Emig's bike, you could actually see black of the tire come off the rear rim. It was that clean at the end of the race when he rolled off. So the track was changing as the heats were going on, and now they've gone through and they've cut down some of the whoop sections where they are having trouble before, and now it's making it a lot easier for those sections, giving some passing lanes. So it should be interesting as the main comes on later on.
Yeah, these guys riding the semi have a little bit of an advantage going into that hoop section on the start. They know kind of what they're getting into. You know, the heat race, the 4 guys out of each heat race, they followed one big rut down through there. Now these guys maybe have a little advantage going in.
Yeah. Don't forget now the top 5 make it out of this semifinal round. Will make the transfer to the main event as Michael Craig now. David Huffman starting to pick up a little bit of space on Michael Craig with Pokerova in 3rd, LaRocco in 4th, and Swink is now in 5th, being pressed by Grayson Goodman.
Grayson, being a local boy, always does well here in Dallas. This year riding the 250, moving up. It's going to be tough getting around Swink. Swink rides good in the mud. He's originally from Michigan. And some of Swink's, the first time, in fact, I ever saw Swink ride was in Daytona in the mud, and he flew.
Here comes Grayson Goodman making the move on Brian Swink to the inside. But the Swinkster comes out of it on top. Hey, 5 more riders are qualified from this main to go to the main event, I should say, when we return. Welcome back to Texas Stadium. We're currently in our qualifying heat in the semifinal round, and taking the place of Doug Poland is kind of like a tag team match as we see the white flag fly for Michael Craig, with Damon Huffman still in 2nd place is our good friend Kevin Schwantz. Kevin, this looks like a typical ride around the ranch here a little bit when it rains.
It's pretty messy out there.
Let's get that spare microphone on. I don't know, Kevin, you used to like the dirt bike craze, huh?
Yeah, motocross riding's always been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. And it was what I did before I started road racing, so I don't really miss not being out there tonight. It doesn't look like much fun, though.
Of course, you've gone on to cars and trucks from your great road racing career as a world champion. Still getting excited about it?
Yeah, the NASCAR racing is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. It'll never take the place of Grand Prix motorcycle racing, but it's definitely keeping me entertained right now.
Well, especially when you're a world champion, Skip Norfolk, huh? Tough to leave the championship scene.
Yeah, it is. You gotta. It's hard to leave where it all started.
Okay, it's Craig, Huffman, Pokerova, LaRocco. That order with Brian Swink. That's Pokerova number 92 here in the semi-qualifying round. White flag has been dropped. It is now the checkers for Michael Craig.
Good ride by Craig. Recover from that first corner, go a little wide like that, and get Huffman back.
Marty Reed will make his way to the podium to talk with Michael Craig next when we come back. 13 riders have now qualified for tonight's Supercross main event here at Texas Stadium, and these 5 advancing out of our just concluded semifinal round. Marty Reed is with the winner, Michael Craig.
Yes, and Mike Craig seemed to have a pretty easy time of it. They made some changes between the heat race and the semi. Was it beneficial for you?
Yeah, I think the track is too tough for the weather we had. Weather here today it's gnarly, and I'm pretty surprised they put the race on. I'm pretty happy with it because I'm not too good in mud, and this has totally helped me. The first race I rode good, but I don't ride mud enough, so I was happy to come to the semi, and I went out here to win, and I did, so I was happy for Honda joining me.
We'll see you in the main event. Good ride.
Thank you.
Taking a look at our Suzuki track map, David Bailey, this is what the track was supposed to look like.
Well, I don't even know where to begin, really, other than you can see that it's a long start into a sharp first corner. And it was a pretty tough whoop section, but like Mike Craig just said, it was a little too tough for the conditions. They leveled that out. Then a series of rhythm jumps, plateaus, then into a triple, which no one's jumped yet. They cross the starting line, go on the other side of the stadium, another triple, which still no one has jumped, and then on to the finish. the whoop section leading up to that. It's a very difficult track because of the conditions.
Getting set for our second semifinal round, Damon Bradshaw, number 10, forced to go to the semifinal along with Phil Lawrence, Jimmy Button, Ryan Huffman, Rusty Holland, Cliff Palmer. We got some good names there. Also good names going to the last chance qualifier. Out of the last semifinal round, you got Goodman, Cooper, and Mike Jones. Guys, that'll be a heck of a battle.
I think it's going to be a real heck of an exciting battle because Cooper riding that four-stroke, the crowd's behind him. And I'd look for him to let it fly maybe on one of these triples to get it in there. Also, Goodman's a local guy, and Mike Jones is tough. He gets good starts in these last chance qualifiers.
Boy, they're sitting at the gate, and they got a lot of mud caked in those knobbies.
Yeah, it's going to be real crucial that those mechanics get that mud cleared out for the start.
Board has been sideways. Gate will drop any moment now for our second semifinal qualifying round. Number 18, Jimmy Button. Gets a clean start, gets a clean getaway right there. Cliff Palmer, number 23 in second.
Rider going down, looks like James Eichel.
That he is, from Grove City, Ohio, on the Kawasaki. But this man's out in front. Jimmy Button, Team Chaparral, Yamaha.
Bradshaw, number 10, got a terrible start out of the gate, but when they got to the corner, everybody skidded out to the berm and got in each other's way, really, and created a traffic jam, and Damon went around the inside, came out in 5th. He just went off the racetrack, though, and dropped a spot to Lawrence.
Here's Ryan Huffman, number 47, taking on Cliff Palmer for second place. And so we've got Jimmy Button, Palmer. Here comes Ryan Huffman out of Oregon.
Good aggressive move. He just jumped, rather than trying to time that double jump, perfect, jumped out there a little farther and just got up to the inside and made a good pass. Ryan Huffman's a guy that's been coming on a little bit more and more lately, more aggressive and looking good. He's got a chance to win this semi.
Okay, so we've got Button out in front, Ryan Huffman, Palmer, then Phil Lawrence has now moved into 4th with Mike Caton in 5th, but Bradshaw is right on his tail. So we've got a good fight on the bubble, guys.
It's going to be a good battle. And we've seen already the guys that look like they're in a perfect spot, and then all of a sudden they go off the racetrack and make a huge mistake, and then a seesaw back and forth. Conditions are starting to dry out just a little bit, so I think we'll see a few less mistakes as the night continues.
Supercross in 1997 has been an unprecedented success. Earlier this season, we took a look at the competition on the track, but that alone isn't the only reason for such tremendous advances.
Now we're on the, what do we have here? USA Today, cover of the sports section. Picture right there, Supercross.
The creation of a superstar followed by an action-packed season with 7 different winners has been a big key to the sport's unprecedented popularity, but not the only one.
What it's done for us is it's increased our sales measurably, anywhere between 25 and 45% every year. This last year especially.
The growth of independent non-factory teams has proved sponsoring Supercross is good business sense. It also has given more quality riders opportunity, adding depth to the field.
When I was a factory rider, you had your 4 players. In KTM, you know, it did a little participation. But now you have a Chaparral team. You have a pro circuit team that's got a semi, a Honda of Troy team, a Manchester Honda. You're seeing bike shops come in and hire riders like Bradshaw.
The sport has expanded their demographics, and the promoters have reacted to it.
If you look at the demographics of the rider only, you know, it's male, 12 to 45. But if you look at the demographics of the people who are actually buying the product, I mean, it's totally family. You know, it's male, female, all ages.
For a father or mother to take their kids out for a weekend to a sporting activity, it's very, very costly. We've been able to lower the upper deck ticket prices to $10, $5 for kids. And for a young family to be able to take their kids out for a $5 ticket, there's no other sporting activity that has that kind of quality.
Stand by 6. Resolve to 6.
Television has taken many sports to new popularity levels. Supercross is a shining example.
Popularity, the growth that we're experiencing, I think is a combination of things, but I think it's being driven by the TV show.
I'm going to say 85% has to do with the coverage, in all honesty. I mean, we had coverage when we were racing, but let's be honest, who watches the sport at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning?
In the past years, TV was about 8 weeks delayed, that even though the series started the second week of January, TV didn't start till, in some years, the first week of April. And there was no way for the TV show to drive ticket sales for future events. I think that now with the TV show being a week removed, that folks can tune in on Friday afternoon and see it, and that there is helping to drive ticket sales for those cities.
Many aspects have come together to make 1997 the most popular of seasons. There was also the strong feeling that the wave of Supercross hasn't crested yet.
We've emphasized a different drama each week. Well, tonight's weather just adds one more unique scenario to that list, guys, as we take a look at the second semifinal round, number 10, Damon Bradshaw. What a shot of those ruts.
The ruts are, again, becoming deeper and deeper. It's going to play more of a part of foot pegs getting caught in them, brake pedals, shift levers. Again, going back to controls, it's going to be crucial that those mechanics keep that groove.
Damon Bradshaw, two-time winner here in Dallas. He won back-to-back races in 91 and 92.
Well, hopefully he's getting all of his bad. There he is right there. Trying to get around. Who the heck is number 68? All right, I forgot. Trying to identify these guys. Bradshaw, you can see right there from that shot from behind. Look at how bad the ruts are, and that's pretty slimy still. Those aren't that packed.
Mike Caton out of Sparta, Ohio, gives way to Damon Bradshaw.
Bradshaw, all through his amateur career, and when I first noticed him and watched him come through the ranks, was number 68. I got all tweaked around right there.
The track, as we noted earlier, was drying out, but the conditions are starting to change, Marty Reed.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad tidings for us because it's starting to rain again, but remember, Jeremy McGrath and both Jeff Emig said it wouldn't be bad to them if it did rain again because it would make it less sticky, less tacky. So this may be a blessing in disguise if it gets a little harder, but so far, just a light drizzle.
Here's our field summary. Button, Huffman, Palmer, Lawrence, and Bradshaw. And their schedule right now, if they can stay upright in this slop, to go to the main event.
So what's happening now is the best line is starting to get good. If you go anywhere else, it's still pretty slimy and wet. So it's developing, perhaps, as the rain starts to change that, it's starting to develop more into a one-line situation. And Ryan Huffman goes down, chasing Button.
So Ryan Huffman, who was in second place.
Now watch his feet slip. He's on the face of a jump trying to pick that bike up. I can't tell you how much strength that takes.
Like skiing, dig in the edges.
Yeah, that's the worst place you could fall down. He's going to lose a lot of positions here.
And Ryan Huffman will be on his way to the last chance qualifier. Mud-slinging action from Texas Stadium. More of it coming up in a moment.
AMA Supercross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. Quality training for the motorcycle industry.
Welcome back to action. It is round number 14 from Texas Stadium of Supercross action. Here's some food for thought for later on in our 250 main event. If Jeremy McGrath should win the last two races, Emig finishes second, they'd be tied with 296 points each. Who would win? The next criteria is wins. They have 4 each. The next criteria, second place finishes. Emig would take the title 4-3 in that category.
That would be amazing if that's what it came down to, that the guy that got more second places would end up winning the title.
White flag lap now in our semifinal round number 2. Jimmy Button, number 18, has run a very fine race.
Yeah, Jimmy's riding a great race right now. He's comfortable. He's out front. Again, going back, he's relaxed. He's standing up, just flowing with the bike. Whatever happens underneath of him, he just lets it do it.
And it'll also be interesting coming up a little later on, too. On this white flag lap in semifinal number 2, we will later see the 125 Western final race of the year. And, of course, the number 1 plate to be awarded after that race. And Kevin Windham has the edge on that one, a big edge. It'll be interesting to see the differences, though, if there's any, of the 125s on this muddy track as the rain starts coming down compared to these 250s, David.
And it'll be a pretty good comparison, too, because in the 125s, the main event, back-to-back to the 250 main event, the track conditions should probably be about the same, maybe a little bit better for the 250s, unless, like Marty said, this rain continues to fall. But then again, you got Jeremy. If he gets a good start, gets out front, he wants it to rain. So the worst-case scenario, it seems like, is if it starts to rain again, and that's what he wants. It could be bad news for Emig.
Phil Lawrence in second place, and we go to Bradshaw in third place. They're looking to qualify to go to the main event. Jimmy Button, number 18, is our leader. He won the 125 East-West race here in 1994. Takes a checkered flag once again, and now we'll go shower down to get ready for the main event.
Track conditions are starting to get better. Button's lap times are 1:13 in the heat race. Emig's were 1:19.
Only 2 more gate positions to be decided when we return to Texas Stadium. Marty will be talking with this young man, Jimmy Button, number 18, when we continue. Button, Lawrence, Bradshaw, Palmer, and Rusty Holland rounds out the top 5 out of the second semifinal round to make it to the main event tonight. Marty, you're with a very happy Jimmy Button.
Yeah, I certainly am. Take us through this. The track is starting to come in. We just made mention, David Bailey talked about the times. You're about 6 seconds quicker than the heat races.
Yeah, the track is getting a little better. We went back, me and Bridgestone made a change to the tires after the first heat. I really didn't like the combination we had. I went to more of a setup like Jeff was running, and it seems to be working pretty good, and the Chaparral Yamaha is working great out there tonight. Just trying to stay loose. Me and Jeremy were trying to kid around about it earlier, saying just go out, don't worry about the race, just have fun, and just going out and not worrying about, doing good, and you ride really smooth, and you ride relaxed, and everything just seems to flow together. And hopefully I can get a good start in the main and go out and maybe be back up here on the podium again.
Jimmy Button, he had some fun, won the semis.
Only one more stop of the 1997 Supercross Tour. That's Las Vegas, Nevada. Not only will we probably be awarding the 1970 or the 1997 #1 plate, but also the best of the East-West 125 divisions get together in their shootout there in Las Vegas. Who's better, Wyndham, Carmichael, Ferry? Well, find out and join us in Las Vegas on the 17th. As we leave you, let's check out our Honda Supercross flashback.
In this week's Honda flashback, it's Charlotte Stadium, 1994, with number 12, Jeff Natasevich, grabbing the early lead. With privateer number 24, Mike Craig, with an inside line, had his turn to lead the main, while back in the pack, number 15, McGrath, was on the move. To the inside of his teammate Stanton, McGrath was inside the top 5 and charging. Emig, sensing McGrath's presence to the inside of Natasevich, makes the pass, and Natasevich, with an outside line, drops another spot to number 15, McGrath. And then came the whoops, McGrath's specialty, passing Emig for second place and setting his sights on the privateer, Mike Craig. And in the closing stages, Craig finally buckled under the pressure, handing the lead to McGrath. Craig had put in one of his finest rides of the year, struggled to get himself going, as McGrath, still in his rookie season, proving he had the strength to come from behind, picks up another win, moving him even closer to his first Supercross championship.
AMA Supercross is being brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, the way we call collect today.
While we were away, Grayson Goodman and Ryan Huffman battled it out, grabbing the final 2 gate positions for tonight's 250 main. Coming out of that last chance qualifier, Guy Cooper on the Husaberg 4-stroke in 3rd, not qualifying, much to the disappointment of many of the fans. As we look at the 125s on the track for tonight's final round of the Western Regional Series, looking at the Suzuki points list, Wyndham needs to recapture the 125 Western plate. He needs a 15th or better. As unlikely as it sounds, almost anything can happen in this mud. Marty Reed.
Guys, the thing to remember is that these guys first saw this track a couple of hours ago. It's changed an awful lot. It's a lot tackier right now. This light drizzle has just been not enough to make it soupy again. Give you an idea, they've knocked down, of course, the mogul section quite a bit, the whoops, but take a look at what's happening to the ruts. Watch my foot. You can see how high this boot is. Well, watch what happens when I go right into this rut in the last corner right in front of the mechanic section. And this is what they're going to have to deal with, because you get your stirrup, your foot peg caught in this, and it just brings all that mud right up into your bike. Could be big trouble if somebody's not ready for it.
Marty, stay out of the ruts.
You can slip and fall and just walking around out there, and it's amazing when you imagine how deep that is. The bike sinks down in there. The frame drags, the foot pegs, the shifter, the brake pedals, and now the foot peg or the brake and the shifter fold back to eliminate being bent out of the way.
Looking at our Suzuki starting grid, we see many of the riders now lined up, ready to go for our 125 main event. Kevin Wyndham, Robbie Raynard, Brian Deegan, Sean Parolio, Casey Johnson could move up into the points race. As his main competitor, he's tied for 3rd in the 125 West points battle. And the gentleman he's tied with, Villeman, elected not to come back from France to race in this final race. He's on the motocross Grand Prix circuit in Europe. There's Kevin Wyndham. He has never raced in Supercross as a pro under these conditions before the heat race tonight.
You know what? This is the first mud race ever for my professional career. There's been a couple of mud races during heats and practice, but like Charlotte last year was wet and it dried out. So, but
I have some amateur experience with it, so hopefully that'll shine through tonight.
Kevin Windham running away with that heat race earlier off a tremendous 250 warm-up as well. Second place at Pontiac and his very first 250 win at Charlotte. He's ready to move on, David Bailey.
Anytime you come off a 250 with those kind of results, your confidence is soaring, and the way he rode his heat race, looks like he's not going to have too much trouble other than with Robbie Rayner, who looked fantastic in his heat. Actually looked like he was maybe a little quicker. Both those guys got great balance. That's what it's going to take out here. The question is, where are they going to gate? Where are they going to come out of that first corner? That's going to probably be the deciding factor.
Number 1, Windham, Brian Deegan right alongside of him. Windham could move up into 4th place tie for the most 125 wins ever. As right now he has 10. Looking for number 11, which would tie him in the 4th spot with Jeff Matasevich. Of course, the leader, Jeremy McGrath, 13 125 win swing, and a Huffman, David Huffman, with 12.
Looks like it's going to be tough for anyone to catch Jeremy, because even if Windham wins the last 2, it'll only be 12. They get to move up to the 250 next year, and that'll be that. So that record of Jeremy's could stand for a long time.
All of those names, including Mikel Pichon, who had 10 125 victories, were 2-time champions. Can Kevin Windham put the nail into his second 125 Western Championship here tonight? He only needs a 15th or better as we're almost ready to go for the 125 main event. It's underway. Deegan, Windham. Windham gets a good last-second push into the corner.
And right next to him was Robbie Rayner, but he got caught up in that jam. Moved him back mid-pack.
Casey Lytle in second place momentarily as Windham is right where he wants to be.
Without a doubt, he's got a clear view out in front of him. No roost. Couldn't be in a better spot.
It looked like it was going to be a great battle. We talked about Rayner being the only challenger, it looked like, the guy with the speed in the mud here tonight, and he was right next to him in the first corner, and he got caught in that jam, and that could be the race right there.
The only low number caught up in that first turn was number 45, Jeffrey Willow. He'll have to come from a long shot behind. Right now, that's Tommy Clowers Jr., number 51.
Still going for the double.
Sean Perelio, number 81, battling with Clowers in 3rd and 4th. Clowers now in 3rd. Casey Lytle in 2nd place, number 71, already over the jump. These 125s behind Windham are having their problems.
Windham makes it look like these guys are having problems because he's so smooth, but as I was starting to say a little earlier, it looked like the track was developing into a one-line situation. You can see in this battle here that it's plenty of places to pass and get side by side.
Now here is the former whoop section. They cut them all out before the main events. So it's a speed race right down the chute.
Clowers getting a little bit better drive. Sorry, Skip.
Yeah, it was really one line in this section. It's probably a good thing that they did open that section up, and it's going to allow for some good racing tonight.
Rusty Holland is coming into this picture right now. Rusty Holland coming from behind, battling in 5th position.
Looking at this battle, it's so far behind Kevin Windham right now. I can't even believe it. It's 1 lap in the books. Kevin Windham's got pushing up to a 5-second lead now. Comes around to the finish line.
14 laps to go on this sticky, murky course as Kevin Windham comes across that finish line once again. Flowers in 2nd place, but right behind him is Sean Perelio. Gonzalez has moved into 6th now, behind Rusty Holland.
Windham, spick and span out there, clean, working his way into the former whoop section. Flying through there like there's nothing there because there's not.
He's definitely just out there by himself, just cruising around. It's got to be great for him now. Allie's just going to need to keep him concentrated on, there's the rest of the race and not getting too focused on what's going on behind him.
Here comes Rusty Holland. He's trying to make a move right now on Tom Clowers. Holland, after a very disappointing season this year, 2 non-qualifying races, 1 he didn't finish, 20th twice. He's had 2 9th-place finishes. Boy, with a good race in this one to finish the season out, that'll make you feel better in that off-season or going into the outdoors. Holland dropping back now. Making the move is Casey Johnson, number 32.
Raynard out-jumped him over that double jump, made the pass.
There's Raynard 24, Johnson 32 right behind in front of his Trowers.
Raynard, when he gets a bad start, rides a lot more aggressive. We've seen him get the whole shot. You start to get a little nervous and experience that arm pump problem. And when you come from behind, you don't worry about arm pump. You're just mad that you got that bad start. You blew an opportunity. He was right there next to Wyndham, and now he's going to ride as hard as he can and hope maybe Wyndham makes a mistake, because the best he can hope for is Wyndham stays upright in the second place here today.
Robbie Raynard, of course, really accomplishing what he hoped to this year, and that is finish his Supercross season without getting injured. Number 24 turned pro at 16, late in 1993. He won Steel City, the outdoors. Everybody thought, hey, this kid's going to be the next wonder. But then broken wrists, injured both shoulders, cracked a vertebrae. He was 22nd here in 94 and hasn't raced here since 94 because of injuries.
Well, now it's a stepping stone for him to get through the season and healthy. He's still got a great chance outdoors.
Our Suzuki field summary. It's Kevin Wyndham, Lionel Perolio, Robbie Raynard, and Casey Johnson, the top 5. The sport's future superstars continue when we get back.
Suzuki Katana rider.
Stadium. You saw our leader, Kevin Wyndham. He is way out in front. He might lap everybody in this race, including Robbie Raynard.
There's a look at Raynard riding as hard as he can. That first turn, I talked about the start. That could be the deciding factor, and it was. And the leader of this race, he's got the pace, I think, tonight, and the balance and the confidence to challenge Wyndham, but it was over with right in the first corner. What a shame. Could have had a real battle here.
Well, number 1 certainly has deserved all the ratings that he's gotten this year and the ravings as far as his performance in the last couple of weeks. He has been on an incredible high. You know, he hasn't lost a heat race in 125s this year.
That's amazing. It's really just mind-boggling to see this kid move up into the 250 class and just ride that when he has a chance, and then to get second in Michigan and then back it up with a win in Charlotte. Pretty big anticipation of him being a title hope when he moves up to the 250s next year.
Last year here in Dallas, it was pretty frustrating. He was passed by Pichon twice, and that was the only loss in the 4 East-West confrontations he had last year. As we take a look at the Honda stopwatch and check out this young man's incredible lead here in the 125 main event.
That's going to tick away for a while.
There you go, 15-5 or 6.
On a Supercross track, that's about like a 30-second lead on an outdoor track. Pretty substantial. At this point, too, Kevin's just picking his way through the lappers. He's not turning the lap times that he's capable of.
8 laps to go in our 125 main event.
I'd be curious to see how Allie handles the lappers. I imagine he's going to be out there trying to get him moved out of the way when Kevin comes around, for sure.
He'd give him a pretty good scowl and point, can he?
I tell you, you know you have to. And you only know what those guys would think, you know, when you're out there just yelling at them to let them know that, you know, your guy's coming around. Last race of the season for the championship, you got to do everything you can.
And the riders will yell, too. I remember yelling at lappers. I had Johnson or Hannah or Brock or somebody breathing down my neck, and I'd come up to lappers and just go, hey! And believe me, they get out of the way.
Let's check his time now. Remember, he had a 1:11.2 in the heat race. 1:13.8, and he's cruising.
And that was in traffic, too. You know, the guy's pretty incredible what he's doing on this motorcycle right now.
Let's go down to Marty Reed.
Yeah, we're down here with Ali Seymour. Last week on the 250, he showed us the future. Right now, he's showing us the present. He's still king of the hill.
Yeah, he's riding really good. He's making it look pretty easy out there, but there's a lot of lap traffic right now, and the track's really slick. You can see down right in his turn, there's cement showing, so still got 7 more laps, so we'll see.
His right knee, guys, is just shaking. You can tell he's still a little nervous. You're not ready to count the championship yet, are you?
Oh, no. Whenever the checker flag falls, then I'm ready to count it then.
All right, get back to work. Thanks.
Now, in Denver, after he won the title last year, he rode around with Ali on the back. I wonder if he'll do that tonight.
I kind of doubt it. Here's our second place rider, Lytle. It's Wyndham, Lytle, Raynard, Perolio, And ladies and gentlemen, number 712, Travis Preston, has moved into 5th spot with Holland in 6th.
Lytle's putting in a great ride. He's got Raynard coming from behind now, closing fast. It'll be a good battle here in a couple of laps, maybe quicker at the pace that Raynard's riding, but either way, Lytle's riding good.
This is an awesome effort for Lytle. His best finish this year was at Houston of 5th, 2.6, and he flew off the track in Phoenix in qualifying.
Hey, he's riding really good right now, and in California, you know, those guys don't get to ride the mud that often. He's doing a pretty good job, and he probably hasn't seen that mud condition.
You see that rut? Raynard is right behind him, number 24.
Getting deep as they drop into those ruts. They're down to the plywood or the cement. I'm not sure what it is here in this dome, but they get down in there and they get no traction and they fall into that berm. That berm that Marty stepped in. There's one of those in just about every corner now, but the good news is they're getting wider. They're getting spread out because the guys are hitting them and they're pushing them out a little further, so they're not dragging the pegs anymore.
According to my count now, as Robbie Raynard gets by Lytle into 2nd place, we've got about 6 laps to go.
You can see how deep those ruts were coming out of that corner into the starting line. Those berms work their way out into the start. When the 250's coming up next, they'll have to go across those berms unless they get a tractor out there and flatten them. The guys on the outside will have a big disadvantage crossing over that. Raynard.
Oh! Kevin almost got hooked up in that rut.
That was the one we were just talking about.
Kevin's got a big enough lead, though, to hang on. And as long as he keeps his cool and stays upright.
There's another look. You see that shiny gray surface. And all the berms, they've all gotten deep enough. There's nothing they can do about it.
Can Kevin Windham move up on the all-time 125 win list? Will he stay upright and win this title? We'll be back in a moment.
Appropriate. What to do when riding in the mud. The roll-off system is essential. If you get a bad start, use a taller gear for extra wheel spin. And, oh yeah, the most important, get the whole shot. That's today's Suzuki riding tip.
Welcome back to our 125 main event from Dallas, Texas. Number 1, we're looking at a replay. Anything can happen at any time. He slips in the mud. However, with 3 laps to go, Windham is still in a dominating lead. He has just lapped the 5th place rider on the track.
Yeah, that's kind of unbelievable. Kevin is just on top of his game tonight.
You could tell in the first lap of practice today, he went out, he was way faster than all the 250s. Of course, the track deteriorated a little bit as they got a little deeper into the practice sessions, but Kevin was fast all day. Smoked his heat, and same thing in the main. Starts have been a big plus for him, too. He's gotten out of the gate, got the whole shots when he's needing them.
Now, something that kind of interests me a little bit is here Kevin wins his first 250 Supercross the weekend coming into this race. It's got to just do great for his confidence and kind of just demoralize everybody else that's out on the starting line. Here's the guy you're racing with who's already won a 250 Supercross.
How about that showdown at the final race in Vegas with Carmichael? If both those guys are on their game and Raynard riding good, that could be an incredible battle.
Robbie Raynard, number 24, doing a very fine job as he reaches up to clear that vision. Looked like he pulled the string.
Imagine they pulled that string quite a few times tonight.
Here's Kevin Windham. The Yamahas have won all but one 125 Western races this year. The bike launched by Deegan in Los Angeles. Yama Suzuki was the only race that Yamaha has not won in this region. David Villeman won Los Angeles number 2 on a Yamaha, and it was all Kevin Windham beside those riders.
Look at the balance of Kevin. He's riding to that roof section. You see him working that bike side to side, using his hips a lot. It's like riding a bicycle with no hands. You don't need your arms to steer. His arms are just there. He's not even probably holding on very tight. And when you do that, you're not going to get any arm pump.
You know, the Western title is right here. I mean, it's obvious. Unless something tragic should happen in one of those deep ruts. Stay smooth, Ali Seymour is telling him. But, you know, I'm really anxiously awaiting this shootout in Las Vegas with Ricky Carmichael presenting such an exciting scene on the East Coast, along with Tim Ferry, the 125 East champion. You know, which rider is the best? We don't have 4 races like last year to compare the 2 divisions.
It's going to be really a unique situation where for the first time in quite a few years, we're going to have the best of the best together in one event.
Wouldn't it be something, too, if Ferry wins the title, but without winning a race in the East, finally gets it together and wins one in Vegas.
Wouldn't that be something?
Puts all these guys away. He's capable of it.
White flag lap for Kevin Windham. It was only the second time in 125 history that a rider has taken a title in 125s without winning a race.
I'll tell you right now, poor Allie, this has got to be the toughest lap of the year so far for Allie Seymour. Just thinking down there, just crossing everything he can right now.
There it is, the champ getting ready to show it to him. I think he's pretty confident about it. I think he tightened everything. What goes through your mind, Skip? I mean, what are you thinking when Jeremy's got a lap to go?
I try not to think, because then I just ruin myself.
A heel clicker in the mud.
Oh, the champ. Allie and Kevin own a house together where they train in California. Another heel clicker on a double. Not much mud on those boots.
You don't have as much time on a double to pull that heel clicker.
Hey, Marty, that's one way to clean the heels off.
Yeah, I'm going to have to learn that maneuver standing up, though.
The checkers for the champion once again.
What a night.
What a great year for Kevin Windham.
We'll be back with the #1 plate celebration for Kevin Windham and a visit with our winner and Marty Reed next.
Discover time.
Title chase is moments away, but it's time now to crown the returning conquering hero. #1, Kevin Windham, as we take a look at that 125 heel clicker. The top 10 finishing order coming up right after.
Start on the boot.
Allie Seymour gave him the championship sign. And here's how it went. Windham, Raynard, Lytle, Perolio, and Holland, the top 5. And as we take a look at 6 through 10, let's turn our attention now to Marty Reed on the victory podium.
And you're looking at the boots that performed the heel clicker, and I need two guys to hold me up to be able to do that. I tried and almost threw my back out. Hey, champ, what a ride. I mean, look at this smile. I want to give you this. This is 2 years in a row. Congratulations, and take us through it because you look like you own the place.
Yeah, man, everybody's been telling me just to calm down, go out there, and, try not to let the weight of this plate get on my shoulders, but thing's awfully heavy at times. The track wasn't in the best conditions, but luckily it was good enough. I got a good start. My YZ pulled me the first turn first in the heat and the main, and the track really isn't that bad. I just went out there and I tried to have a positive attitude about the whole night, and I had a lot of fun.
I saw you take a moment to talk to teammate Ezra Lusk. He's getting ready for the 250. What'd you tell him?
A lot of the track's so tacky now, and we're digging such ruts that we're all the way down to the concrete, and I just want him to watch out for that.
Well, there he is. Hold up that #1 plate. It's not that heavy now, guys. Look at that. He can do it one-handed.
And that smile will take him right into the 250 ranks next year, guys. Here's what goes into the history books for the 125 West in 1997. Windham advancing to the 250s, but not before one of the best East-West shootouts that we'll see, and that'll be coming up in Las Vegas, Sam Boyd Stadium. Raynard finishing out the year, doing a great job in second place in the points. Oh, look at the sign right there. Kevin Windham with his family and friends from nearby Louisiana.
Yeah, that was Allie's mom there holding up that sign. And I tell you, it's got to be pretty neat to have family here and friends like that just supporting it along the way. It's a great feeling.
The 250 title chase continues here at Texas Stadium when we return. Crowd here at Texas Stadium in Dallas for round 14 of AMA Supercross action. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Skip Norfolk. The 125 action, guys, has it given us some hints now as we look at this tremendous 250 points battle?
I think so, because what it looked like would be the duel was Windham and Raynard. They each won their heat, and then in the start, Windham got the whole shot. Raynard was right there in the first turn. They got mixed up, and that decided the race. So,
Skip, when you turned the wrenches for Jeremy McGrath, he was always out in front of the points race. A little different situation now.
Yeah, he's definitely in a different situation in the 250 Supercross than he's ever seen. But for the first time this year, you talk to him, and he's just confident. He's happy with his motorcycle, and he's happy with the way he's riding.
Let's go down to Marty Reed, trackside.
We're always trying to find little advantages for one team over another. Take a look at the Kawasaki's. Notice the discs, both front career are the solid variety. Everybody else, including the man right next to Ryan Hughes, Jeremy McGrath, has got the slotted disc. Now, Skip, you can probably relate to this more than anybody. Those slots sometimes fill up with the mud, which can cause the brakes to wear out quicker. What do you think, guys?
Hey, I think it's a really smart part on Kawasaki to outfit the team with those solid rotors. Again, you know, you're in a championship hunt. You can't take any chances.
Here we take a look at the series standings, our Suzuki series standings. 4 wins for Jeff Emig, 252 points to 246. Lusk is trying also to nail down 3rd place overall. Number 1, Jeremy McGrath, trying to defend now after 4 consecutive titles. As we look at the Suzuki starting grid, he faces challenges with a positive outlook, and so does his rival, Jeff Emig.
It's terrible that you have to go out there and ride in the mud for points like we are, you know, because who knows what's going to happen. I was talking to Duke earlier, and I was telling him I'd like to see a doubleheader in Vegas, but I don't think that's going to go over too good.
I didn't set the world on fire with my finish, but there was a real fire that started inside me because of the way that I rode at Charlotte. And so consequently, all week long, that fire's been burning, you know, and it's just, I mean, I'm just stoking the coals when it rains.
Both McGrath and Emig was just as soon prefer better conditions, that's for sure, but neither one of them backing down here today.
Both winning their heats, and just like I said in the 125, Wyndham and Rayner did, but the first turn made all the difference. Looks like Emig and Jeremy are both on their game tonight, looking good. Jeremy pulling a tearaway just to get a little bit clear vision. That red strip across the top is to keep water and particles of dirt from getting down in between those tear-offs. Ryan Hughes also has them.
Okay, Jeremy McGrath has got a Honda of Troy rider, Larry Ward, right next to him. And the Kawasaki of Ryan Hughes on the other side. We're off for the main event. Jeff Emig, number 3.
Oh, Jeremy is caught in that
down.
jam.
He's caught up in the first turn. There's Antonez, number 19. Number 5 as well is caught up into the mess. That's LaRocco.
And over to the outside, Damon Huffman is stuck underneath his motorcycle. It's hard to tell if he was injured, if he just couldn't get up by himself because the bike was on top of him. But Emig's got clear sailing, and Jeremy's buried in the pack. What an opportunity here.
He's 7th from the end. Huffman looks hurt. He's not getting back up on the bike. So bad break from Damon Huffman, coming back from an injury where he missed a lot of races.
Yeah, that's something you don't need to have happen as the first race back to get hurt.
One more thing, just to make this picture a little rosier for Emig, is he's got his teammate Ryan Hughes right behind him. Ryan will help his teammate. Believe me, if Jeremy comes late in the race, he's able to work his way up, and Hughes is still there. It'll be tough for him to get around. That'll give a couple more points to Emig.
Emig in first, Ryan Hughes second, Mike Kondrowski a winner here in 3rd, Button in 4th, Bradshaw in 5th, Craig in 6th, and Albertine has just hopped into 7th.
Say, there's one thing, if I was Mr. Albrecht down there, I'd tell Jeff where Jeremy's at, you know, way back, it looks like about 12th place, just to give him some confidence.
Help him relax a little bit. That makes a difference, definitely. Whenever I was in a tight situation, in fact, I was coming down to the wire at the final race of the series against Mark Barnett. I had a 10-point lead going in, and Barnett crashed in the first corner. But the problem was there, on the flip side of that, is I relaxed a little bit too much, and Barnett was going like gangbusters, came and passed me, and then I had to pass a few guys to stay close enough to still win the title.
Well, Jeremy just moving out of 13th place. It takes us back to 1995 in the mud race then. He was in 13th, got into 4th by lap 7, and ended up in 2nd place. Can he do it again?
I tell you, you know, he's capable of doing it, but the one thing is you got Jeff out front, and if he doesn't fall down or make a mistake, I mean, making up, it looks like about 20 seconds right about now. It's going to be tough.
That would still give Emig a 9-point lead going into the final race of the year. Jeff Emig.
That's one place you don't want to be, is 9 points down going into the last race. Great place for Jeff. Yeah. Terrible place for Jeremy.
That's horrible. He's been coming from behind a lot. He's had 3 opportunities with Jeff not on his game to gain those points back, and a fall in Michigan, a flat tire in Charlotte, it really kept him from taking over the series lead. He's gotten around Lusk. As Kondrowski finally gets his break, and so does Bradshaw. Both these guys having a tough time through the heat and semis. Actually, Bradshaw more so, and finally got a good start in the main.
Look at this. Ryan Hughes pulling up on the back bumper.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that Ryan would go out and kind of pressure Jeff like that. If I was Jeff, I'd almost be willing to just let him go. Go ahead, go win the thing. I'm going to stay here in second and try to capitalize on Jeremy's bad start.
There's a couple of ways to look at that, too. And the one is that Ryan could just be pushing his teammate. They could just feel like, oh, we're just out at the Kawasaki test track, and I'm relaxed. And Ryan needs to push him because he's got guys back there that could challenge.
Well, the other Kawasaki, Marty Reed's on the scene.
Guys, I just saw Damon Huffman head towards the pits. He stopped by long enough. I asked him, I said, are you okay? He said, yes. And as he drove up the tunnel, I saw him working that left wrist feverishly.
Here's our fourth place rider, Jimmy Button. Button has had an interesting season this year.
Reaching up right then to clear his vision. And speaking of vision, Jeremy, who having come from so far behind, by the time he gets through everyone, if he can, get up into a podium position perhaps, salvage some points, he's going to have hardly any tearaways or that roll-off left over.
Here's our Suzuki Field summary. We'll be back with more 250 action from Texas Stadium in a moment. Event of the 250 action from Dallas, Texas, way out in front is Jeff Emig, the points leader, as we take a look back at Damon Bradshaw.
Still circulating in sixth, putting together a pretty good ride, and I felt like the results here tonight would be a little weird because of the conditions, and when you look at it and the way things have been, they are slightly different. You got Hughes in second so far. Then Kudrowski, the potential podium, that'd be his best ride so far. Then Button and Craig and Bradshaw. So it's a little bit different than what people may have expected.
Number 3, Jeff Emig has gone from streak breaker to contender and maybe to champion.
He's definitely doing everything right tonight. I mean, a great start, and he's taking advantage of the situation at hand.
Our Honda stopwatch starting on that corner. Let's check out the interval.
Unfortunately, it won't be quicker because of him doing the triple. He doubled that time just after he went out of the view there.
Yeah, he's cut back to the double. That's his second time he's gone through there to a double.
I would imagine Mr. Albrecht's telling him, you know, just relax out there. Everything's going the way you want it to. Don't take any necessary chances.
He's on his way to his best finish ever in Dallas, Texas. Last year, a 5th, a 10th at 95, and a 4th place in 94. He got the whole shot that year and then drifted back to 4th. Right now, the title is at stake. 40 seconds.
That's a mile to make up.
That's back to 8th place.
Yeah, all night we've
Jeremy
talked
McGrath.
about, Skip has made the mention of you got to keep your cool out there. And, you know, in Jeremy's position, how the heck are you supposed to keep your cool when you go down to the first corner like that and you look over? You believe me, you can see each other out there on the racetrack. He sees Emig with a big lead. He's still got to carve through the entire pack with the vision problems, and what a horrible night. This is like L.A. was for, I think, for Jeremy.
Jeff Emig a 1:14.3, and might he start doing the double because it has started to rain down on the track. Let's go to Marty.
Yeah, guys, I can tell you it is raining harder. It's the hardest it's rained all night. That's what Jeremy McGrath wanted, but there's only about 11 laps to go, and I don't know if that's enough time for him.
Hughes has gone down.
Well, that's going to help. And as it starts to rain with 11 laps to go, this track can deteriorate pretty quick. Guys getting caught by surprise here and there by the track getting slick if it keeps raining hard.
What a ride for Kudrowski as he moves into 2nd place. That's the significance when number 9 went down. He's right behind number 18, Jimmy Button, right now. Button moved up to 3rd. So Hughes rejoins the action in 4th ahead of Craig.
Still,
Jeff's all clean. He's just kind of hanging out there. He may take a little time to, you know, make sure that vision's clear. He's just cruising along.
Albertine has moved in front of Bradshaw into 6th place, and still in 8th place is Jeremy McGrath.
crowd getting into it as Emig does the triple again. Just depends on the run he gets at it. If he's comfortable with the run at it, he'll go for it because he's making it no problem. But come up a little short, that could be that's a big mistake here tonight. And Jeremy, for the next guy in line for him to pass, like it's going to be Damon Bradshaw. He's starting to work his way up.
Let's get Jeff Emig's mechanics point of view. Marty Reed's there.
Well, down here with Jeremy Albrecht, you got to be quite happy right now. He's got a big lead, and the main opposition is still struggling back in about 8th place.
Well, yeah, you know, the main thing we want to do is come out and win, and that's what he's out there doing. He's riding really well. All day it's been really good. So, you know, it is nice and McGrath's back there, but it's not really the way you want it to be. But, I mean, it's really great.
You know, he's got to get back to work, guys, because he's about ready to come by.
Skip, how would you be feeling if you were Jeremy Albrecht?
You know, I don't know how else you'd want it to be right now. I'd be just so happy, you know. You don't want to wish bad things on anybody, but take advantage of them when they do happen.
Jeff Emig, all business right now. His face straight ahead. Emig in first, Kudrowski second. Hughes has moved into third in front of Button, and Craig is in 5th. And Jeremy, he's still back in 8th position.
Yeah, Jeremy just hasn't found it. He's not flowing. To me, he's not riding as well as he was in the heat race. Where Jeff is, to me, looks like he's riding better than he rode in the heat race.
Yeah, Jeff has definitely picked it up a notch. I mean, when you look at the difference between Jeff, not only does he look a little more relaxed, and rightly so with the start that he got compared to Jeremy, but look at Jeremy, he's covered with mud.
The only battle on the track is right here. Mike Kudrowski in 2nd place is being hounded by Ryan Hughes, number 9. Hughes trying for his best finish of the year as they both blow by Buddy Antonez, the lapper.
All these berms that one Ryan just got into there, they're getting tougher to get in and out of because they're getting kind of little jig jogs in them and down to the cement. Emig starting to steer clear of all those berms, choose good lines out there, and when you're able to relax, you can think more clearly and make better decisions.
If Emig continues to lead and wins this race, and McGrath stays in 8th, Emig will have an 18-point lead going into Las Vegas.
Now, you don't want to put a damper on things for Jeremy, but you're not going to make that up in one race unless something happens to Jeff.
Unless the lights go out. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
I was thinking about it. Well, that does seem impossible to make up 18 points. I mean, Jeremy can go out and win the race, and probably will just out of anger.
McGrath is starting to close the gap on Bradshaw as we take a look at Ryan Hughes trying to close things up for 2nd place against Mike Kudrowski. Hughes last year passed Emig for 2nd place in this race. He took a 2nd in the rain in the 125s back in 95. Here comes Ryan Hughes on the straightaway. Has the good inside, box out. And Ryan Hughes has moved back into 2nd place.
No, he's riding great. Riding great. Challenged, gave Jeremy all he could handle in his heat race, and definitely been looking good all night. He's really got nothing to lose. And when you come into a mud race where you just got to go out there and just let it all hang out and have fun in it, I mean, what better frame of mind to have than to just, you know, nothing to lose coming in. Of course he's going to ride good.
Here's Albie. He's taking a look now. Goodbye, Kudrowski. Albertine moves up the ladder.
And it's not over for Kudrowski. Just threw off his goggles right there to the inside of that corner. Now he's got Craig and Button and Bradshaw and Jeremy lined up behind him.
They're all trying to take advantage of him. But getting back to Hughes, his best finish of the year was a 3rd in Phoenix, and then he ran into all kinds of trouble. Bike seized. He had 11th and 16th place, and out for injury with 3 races in a row, and it's good to see him come back strong. Mike Craig, number 15. McGrath is up to, well, he's in 8th place.
Well, the good news about that is he's got a bunch of guys right there in front of him. If he can hustle and get around Bradshaw, he's got 3 or 4 more guys he could potentially pass before the end of the race, and those points are valuable.
Albie ran out of eyesight and tossed his goggles. Here's the field summary. Emig, Hughes, Albertine, a chance for Suzuki on the podium again. Craig and Kudrowski.
Well, you got to kind of wonder about Abby's chances for the podium right now that he's, you know, ripped his goggles off. But once your eyes get full of dirt, you're not going to be able to see where you're going at all.
Here's what I'm thinking. The potential for Albie to move over, give a couple more points to Jeremy before the end of this race if he's close enough, not to make it too obvious. see a good move on Suzuki's part, because I don't think it would hurt Albie to move back one spot. It would sure help
It was obvious last week when a great deal of sportsmanship was shown by Mike LaRocco, who came back to the team after leaving it for a week. And he certainly showed the sportsmanship and a team-like effort, helping Jeremy McGrath with a couple of points there.
Well, unfortunately, I missed that one, but he's certainly riding good tonight. And believe me, if there's anything he can do to help Suzuki win a title and help Jeremy, I'm sure he'll do it.
Oh, Albie's getting close to Ryan Hughes, number 9. He clipped the back tire. This could be interesting.
Albie's riding good. I know he's had experience in the mud. Pre-World Championships, you're going to see some rain.
And he's matured so much as a Supercross rider this year, winning the first round of the season, and then coming back with 2 second places and a 3rd in the last weekend in Charlotte. Suzuki has only been off the podium 1 time this year.
Albie saved it in Charlotte. Jeremy got the flat tire. Ryan Hughes goes down.
That's the break Albertine needs. Goggles or no, he's now in 2nd place. Michael Craig making a move, too. He's moved into 3rd. So Ryan Hughes having his problems staying on 2 wheels. Jimmy Button also passing. Let's check it again, David.
Comes out that corner, just leans a little bit too far to the inside. He's still leaning to the inside when he hits that jump. When the suspension compressed and rebounded, high-sided him the other way. And he was in a tough spot to get going, and all those guys were stacked up behind him. He lost some positions there. Now he's got no goggles and all those guys in front of him, and Jeremy is not far behind. There he is.
Jeremy is in back of Damon Bradshaw, number 10, and then comes Ryan Hughes and Mike Kudrowski. Kudrowski slowing down greatly.
Jeremy can just see points.
Yeah, that's it. He's got to capitalize on those 4 guys directly in front of him right now.
Marty Reed, from your vantage point.
Well, we're going to watch as he puts out the position number 2 for his rider. He's going to be waiting for him to come by here, and then we'll get a chance to talk to him. Look, things got a little crowd down here, as you can see. Albie's trying to get the signal from Ian Harrison. He gets it. Hey, your man doesn't have any goggles. He's in 2nd place. Not bad.
Yeah, I'm thrilled, man. He's had 2 good weeks this weekend, and this is anyone's kind of race. You just got to keep it on 2 wheels. There's 4 laps to go. I hope he does it.
I got to ask you, are there any team orders here for him to drop back, get Jeremy up?
I'm not sure. I'm sure they'll speak to me later in the race. If they do, it's one of those things.
In other words, if he knows, he ain't telling us.
I think as long as he's staying in 2nd like he is, he's that far ahead, I don't see it happening. But if Jeremy was close to him, I guarantee you he'd move over. I'd be kind of surprised if he didn't.
Jeremy is looking at Ryan Hughes right now. That would be 6th position, as he just got by Bradshaw for 7th.
Look at Jeremy, gets by Ryan. Now Emig's going to be like, come on, Ryan, hold that guy back.
There we go, Jeremy McGrath. He's moving up the points ladder anyway. He's not going to give it away, that's for sure. As Emig comes across the finish line, he lapped Ezra Lusk.
That's amazing. Emig haven't got a split on it, but he's got looks like a half a lap lead over Albertine. It's amazing. He's riding beautiful tonight. What a night to do it.
Today he stepped up and took advantage of tonight. The weather, Jeremy's falling down the first turn. What a confidence going into the last race.
It was interesting. Wyatt Seals putting out the sign, Craig's in 3rd. He's not talking about Kudrowski or Button. He's talking about Craig.
Well, you got to get him looking ahead. You know, bottom line is you got to finish on the podium. You can't afford to give any more points away.
Well, that 18 points is going to shrink quite a bit if Jeremy can get around Kudrowski, Button, and Craig, which is possible. He'll be 3rd. That'll be an amazing ride for Jeremy to come from that far behind and salvage all those points, keep that championship title alive.
Well, it certainly is interesting always seeing Jeremy McGrath battle from behind, because he's done so well in the past in coming up through the ranks when caught, especially early in the race. But we can't take any credit away from Jeff Emig right now.
No, he's not doing anything wrong. He's just out there executing a great race. It's like it's not even muddy out there. He's riding just flawless.
In my last win here in 1986, I was closing in on Rick Johnson for the title. Rick had been winning. He's having a great year, but I came off back-to-back wins in Michigan, came in here, trying to get Rick stuck in the gate by jumping early, and it worked, but then I got a bad start too, and the first few laps went good. I worked into the lead, and Johnson was still back in about 7th or 8th, and I just thought, okay, we're going to be tied up coming out of here. And little by little, just like Jeremy's done tonight, he kept picking guys off and finally got around my teammate Johnny O'Mara, got second. I only picked up 3 points and lost the title.
So still anything can happen as we look here at Texas Stadium. Jeremy McGrath getting by Kudrowski. So McGrath now has moved into 5th position.
And Button's right there, just exiting that corner. Still within striking distance for Jeremy.
Can Jeremy pick him off on the straightaway here? It used to be the whoop section. Look at the power. Jeremy just pulling it up, cinching it up as he tries to approach Jimmy Button.
Probably one of the best times for Jeremy going through that section that last lap. He needs to get around Jimmy right now so he can try to concentrate on Michael Craig.
He's got it. A couple more points.
Moving up the ladder.
I don't think he's got enough time to catch Craig, but Craig makes a mistake. Craig doesn't have any goggles right now.
1 lap to go, though. And here is our leader, Jeff Emig. Emig, if he should win this race, and it looks like he will become Kawasaki's 6th win of the season. This ties the all-time winningest season set back in 1987 for Kawasaki. Look at that nice move by Jeff Emig, cutting through the lappers with ease, pointing to his friends as he goes.
He's coming around to that triple he's been doing. The only other guy that tried it was Hughes, came up a little short. Look at the people waiting.
This could be Jeff Emig's finest win. I know St. Louis was significant because it broke up that tremendous win streak.
Just a stepping stone to where he's at now.
The checkers for Jeff Emig. Oh my goodness, Jeff Emig. A timely 5th win on the season, his 7th career win. Jeremy McGrath is in 4th place. That would mean a 13-point advantage going to Las Vegas. We'll be back in a moment to hear from our winner, Jeff Emig.
The vacuum BN2 has been brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. And by Honda. Between now and May 31st, you can get a great deal on a great bike during the Honda Ride-Off. Honda, walk in, ride off.
Round number 14 has been completed. The official scores, well, they've got the number 1 plate cleaned off, all shiny. But Jeff Emig, who takes the victory here tonight, won't get it until possibly Las Vegas, as this is the order. Emig, Albertine, and Michael Craig with a surprising 3rd place finish. A great finish for Honda of Troy. It equals their best team finish of the year. Let's go down to Marty and hear from the victorious Jeff Emig.
Yes, and we're getting wet down here, but I think the guy on my left doesn't care one bit. This may have been your most impressive ride ever. What do you think?
I don't know. I think that it was one of the easiest ones ever, to be honest with you. It was, I mean, I just kind of rode around in the position that I was in. I mean, you know, I got the start, and then I just kind of rode there. I was having a lot of fun. I started jumping that triple, and, I mean, it was really easy. The crowd response was awesome, so I kept pinning it.
By our calculation, you are 13 points ahead, 1 race to go. What do you think?
Well, I think that I don't have a big enough lead yet. You know, Jeremy's a great Supercross rider, and especially going into the final event, I mean, I look for him to be just as strong as he's ever been. And but as far as, you know, what I'm doing, I'm just pumped, you know, for Kawasaki. Bridgestone gave us awesome tires tonight, and we were hooking up. I was wheeling in spots where the guys were spinning. It was great.